What up, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome to the Arrowhead Kingdom CHIEFScast show. Big reminder that all fans are invited to join us for game day, which is this Sunday for the Super Bowl. Visit arrowheadkingdom.org to learn more about our group and how to find your local location. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, which is, of course, presented by Complete Weddings and Events, your leading provider of photo, video, DJ, photo booth, lighting, and day of coordination services. Visit them at completewedo.com. So, for the fifth time in the Mahomes era and the
Uh,
third time in 3 years, our Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl.
Woo!
Woohoo! There you go.
That's what
There
I'm
you
talking
go.
about, man. It feels great, Josh, to be here. I don't think this is a surprise that you or I ever had. I
Oh,
think that you, I, and our other co-host Brian, we all felt that the three-peat was coming. Now we were unsure on if we were going to win the three-peat or what our record was going to be going into the the Super Bowl, but it's good that we're going into the Super Bowl 15-2. I think in the beginning of the season, I was more worried about going 17-0, and it almost started to look like that. But we are for real, Josh. We're very for
for
real,
real. Very for real.
and I've been listening to the media, and the media's been calling us boring and the villains. I like the villain aspect. I love being the villain. Hey, the coolest villain of all was the Joker. So if we're gonna be the Joker, we're gonna get the last laugh, and that's a great thing, man. I can't think of a villain cooler than the Joker. Maybe Killmonger from Black Panther or something, but I don't even think he's close to the Joker.
I don't know. I'm a Darth Vader guy. I gotta say, Darth Vader's probably my favorite villain. The Joker's up there.
Luke, I
Darth Vader's
am
up
your
there.
father.
No, I am your father. Yeah.
Oh
No,
yeah, that's crazy
he
that
doesn't
they
say Luke. He says, no, I am your father.
what's that Mandela effect? I could have sworn for years he said, Luke, I am your father.
Yeah.
I was like, oh crap, you're telling this man you're his dad? You're telling him that you bump cheeks with his mom?
There
Wow.
you go. Yeah, no, that's probably the most misquoted line from cinema in history. Never says Luke,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody does. So, Chiefs are in the Super Bowl by way of beating the Buffalo Bills. So that's the second time that they've made a Super Bowl beating the Bills. Or is that three? Is this three? I think this is three.
What? Three what?
Three times beating the Bills in the AFC Championship.
Absolutely.
No, hold
That
on. There's two
oh
two
no,
division
I
two.
believe this is four.
No, but it's two divisionals and then two AFC Championship games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna double check this.
I wanted it to be four so bad,
We do we do
for
we
my
do
Bill
research
fans out
sort
there.
of. Okay, so we'll look at the Chiefs versus Bills list of games. All right. Chiefs, Bills, football database. Let's run through this here. Or we can go through stat muse history of the last 5 years. So AFC Championship, regular season. So it was a divisional round last year because they were the 3 seed. Okay. And then it was December of 2023. That was regular season. Then October of 2022. So January 2022, that was an AFC Championship game. And then yeah, January 2021 was an AFC Championship game. So three AFC Championship games and a divisional.
Yeah, hey,
Pretty wild stuff.
that's pretty wild stuff. Does it
Yeah, so
say
that's
kind of own the Bills a little bit?
yeah,
Just
it's a crazy level. It's a crazy level of ownership. So, really the first question that I want to address with you, and this is going to go into our writers' room column for the week as well. Chiefs beat the Bills for the fourth time every single one of these games, with the exception of that first AFC Championship game. Sorry, no, it is two divisionals because the 13-second game was a divisional.
hmm
Crossing the streams here. So that first AFC Championship game was a pretty solid beating. So they beat the Bills pretty solidly en route to Super Bowl 55.
hmm
And then they Had the 13-second game, which I don't know that you could find a game that comes closer. And then you had the one last year and the one this year. So divisional last year, championship this year, both of those were decided by a field goal. So these are all close games. And so with this game in particular, did the Chiefs win this game? Did the Bills lose this game? Did the refs hand them this game? What are your thoughts there? What's the reasoning why the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl and the Bills aren't?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What you say now?
I said, so what's the reasoning why the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl and the Bills aren't? This is a 3-point victory.
The
Did,
reasoning,
did did the Bills lose the game? Did the Chiefs go out and win the game? Did the refs give the game to the Bills? I mean, I know that's what a lot of people want to say.
the
What
the
actually happened?
what actually happened is we played smarter football. A lot of people want to blame the refs, but the refs is not our deal. The deal was the Bills made a lot of mistakes, and what we're good at, we capitalized on their mistakes. So by us capitalizing on their mistakes, some people holler, "Oh, the refs helped them." No, not really. They actually made those mistakes, and those mistakes that they made, it cost them. It really cost them.
To me, this game came down to two fourth down plays. So you had the 4th and 1, Bills ran a tush push, and then you had the 4th down when they were trying to get into field goal range, and Steve Spagnuolo brought the blitz package that he was waiting all season to bring.
Oh, yes, he was. And he
and
did not bring that, Josh.
and Allen really did throw a fairly nice ball that hit his first round pick tight end Dalton Kincaid in the hands. It was a
Mhm.
tough catch, but the thing that I hear, the people like the First Things First show, Nick Wright and Chris Broussard. Chris Broussard, I think, was the one who's like the Chiefs make that play. And that's
Yes,
why the Chiefs keep winning. They make that play. And I agree with that. The Chiefs make that play. And I was thinking about this today. So that 4th and 1, they went for the tush push, and their goal was to get 1 yard. And I look at that. That's the approach you take when you're trying to not lose.
that's right.
If you're going to go for it on 4th down, I think back to the 2021 game against the Browns. You
Right.
had 4th and 1 to ice the game. You had Chad Henne, who could have easily ran a quarterback sneak. You had Daryl, God, who was it? It was Daryl Williams, I believe.
Yes, it was Daryl Williams.
Daryl Williams, 31, yeah. Yeah, Daryl Williams in the backfield that could have gone. Le'Veon Bell was on the team, but they rolled Henne out to the right and threw a quick out for 5 yards to Tyreek Hill.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely nothing was left to chance there. That was completely going through the jugular. That was, we're going to get 5 yards and we need one. We're going to leave no question that this is a first down.
Hmm.
And the Bills left things to question that it was a first down. I don't care what anybody thinks that call was. It was not definitive.
No,
And anybody who says it is lying to themselves because they just don't want to see the Chiefs playing in a Super Bowl. That was not a definitive first down by
sure.
any means. And when you run this chaotic play to get 1 yard, you're leaving that up to chance.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, by running that blitz package that Spagnuolo did, let's say Allen gets that and manages to see over to the left and catches Cook out of the backfield, that's 6 points.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs took a risk, and the Bills just they don't take good, calculated, solid decision made risks.
No. Is that a Sean McDermott? Uh, is that a knock on him?
You can either say that's a knock on Sean McDermott, or you can say it's a knock on everybody who's not Andy Reid. And let's just ask that question: what are we comparing this to?
That's so
The
true.
guy who always gets it right with the best quarterback in the league, possibly ever.
That's right.
and,
That's right.
and the reality is, I think this is just not fair for the Bills. It's unfortunate they're living in Mahomes' world.
That's that's true. But they're gonna keep knocking on that door, and if they keep
I think they
knocking,
will. I think they will.
eventually they're gonna get their franchise first Super Bowl. But
Yep.
However they get it, they're gonna have to get over. They're gonna have to get over that hump.
Yep. They
So
got to
one
they
of
got to
these,
get through the Kansas City Chiefs.
right?
The answer.
Either next year or the year after, they're just gonna have to beat us in the AFC Championship. It's kind of like the Ricky Bobby movie with the French racer, and I
Yeah,
can't think of
Jean
his name.
Girard.
John Gerard. Yeah, John Gerard's like, you have to beat me. I think that's where the Chiefs are. You have to beat me.
Exactly. You have to beat me. Yeah, exactly. No, and I think that's accurate. I agree with that. So I think we're in agreement. The Chiefs won. Reed out Coach McDermott.
Mm,
Mahomes out executed Allen. The
yeah.
defense made the stop that it needed to. The Bills didn't. The
Mm-mm.
Chiefs made more plays. It was just the discipline. They're good at the stuff that wins a game. And
That's
that's
right.
it. So
That's
we're not
right.
doing bad. We're not doing bad referee calls. We're not getting
No,
anything
we're not. We're not.
So
It has been ridiculous, Josh. You've been hearing that Clark Hunt's wife is paying millions of dollars. I'm like, oh wow, the conspiracy theories.
no,
I
exactly.
like conspiracy theories, so I've been laughing my hind parts off behind it. I'm like, oh wow, she's just going in the bank and like, hey, here you go, I got money for you guys.
Well, exactly. I mean, the thing that I go back to is if you're the NFL and you're trying to fix stuff, is Kansas City really the market and the team that you're going to do this with?
Yeah,
I mean, for real, it's crazy. And I also like the social media comments that you see out there. It's like, well, if this is such a fixed thing, why aren't people going out in mass betting on the Chiefs to win things? If this is so
yeah,
guaranteed, and this is exactly what the league is pushing towards, there you go.
yeah. Why not?
Yeah. So this gets into what everybody's calling Chiefs fatigue, which I think is a nice way to add sugar to bitter vitriol hatred that
Mm,
people have for this team. We're being pleasant at this point and calling it fatigue.
fatigue.
Um, why do you think that there's so much fatigue, quote unquote, around this team?
Well, wouldn't you be tired too, Josh, if your season is longer than the average NFL team season? So it's hilarious when they say, "Oh, the Chiefs have fatigue." I'm like, well, anybody that makes it to the Super Bowl is going to have fatigue. That's just
Well,
my.
no, what I'm asking is the fatigue from fans about the Chiefs.
Oh,
Basically
the,
like, oh, where's all this hatred coming from? No,
well,
I don't think the
I
Chiefs
think
look tired at all. I think they look
no, I don't
ready
think
to
they look
go.
tired, but this Chiefs fatigue, they're just tired of us winning. They're like, oh my God, the man manifested that he wanted a third ring back to back. He wanted a three-peat. And I think people are really mad at Mahomes. They don't, I mean, the Mahomes hate. I think more so than just the Chiefs collectively, Josh. I think they hate Patrick Mahomes. I think that he's the guy that everybody loves to hate. Like they don't, from his voice to his hairstyle. I mean, you go online and I'm like, they're just dragging my guy. Come on, you can't drag greatness like that. I'm like, you people better quit playing. This guy is just steady winning. But that's the fatigue that you're talking about, and they're like, oh my God, I don't want to watch the Chiefs if they're gonna play. I mean, I've seen sports announcers and different former athletes that's gone on record saying that they're not watching the game because they feel like it's rigged. And that's part of the Chiefs fatigue that you're bringing up right there.
Yeah, people like that need to find a hobby. What I think is interesting,
Mm-hmm.
the fatigue coming out from the other teams,
Mm-hmm.
just how competitive Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, Chris Jones. Let's just say it's those four.
Mm-hmm.
And I put Mahomes at the top of this. Mahomes is so incredibly competitive.
Yes.
He's one of those people that I think he loves winning, but I also think he hates losing more. And I think his hating to lose might be a little more powerful. They've done enough winning and going for a three-peat. Let's just say that loving winning is the most important thing. I think a third factor or a sub factor of this hating to lose is being able to prove people that keep saying all this stuff wrong, you
Right.
know, proving all his peer doubters. And I think about this. Um, in grade school, quicksand seemed like a huge problem.
It really did.
Yeah, being in the ocean, being out at sea when you're taking swimming lessons, it's a huge problem. But anytime you're thinking about quicksand, anytime you're thinking about just drowning in general, the worst thing you can do is struggle.
Right.
Worst thing you can do is exert more effort. The best thing you can do is be calm and kind of let the situation come to yourself. And watching all these other teams get worked up, watching the Bengals, watching the
Oh,
Ravens, watching all these players just go on all their interviews and be like, God, I hate this team. I need to beat this team. It's
especially
like, you don't
Jamar Chase.
understand. You are struggling in quicksand. You are drowning yourself by making these people even more motivated to beat you. And they don't need any motivation. They're a better team.
They're just a better team. And that's what I want somebody to tell Jamar Chase so bad. I mean, he's leading the Chiefs hate pack. Like he is very vocal about how he hates this team.
So my impression of Jamar Chase is the first time he listens to somebody about that will be the first time that he does in his life. I mean, he doesn't seem like the most self-aware individual when it comes to
No.
that type of thing. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, again, sorry he's upset.
Yeah,
And
you
all
can't
the all the all
say
the
about it, Josh.
exactly. And all the fans, like, they're not drowning themselves hating the Chiefs, but they're giving themselves heartburn. It's like, why are you sitting here getting mad about something that you can't control? And if it's a foregone conclusion, you really can't control it. But
Mhm.
I think deep down, people really know that this isn't a foregone conclusion and that the team keeps getting it done. But what I think is crazy, and where I think some of the fatigue comes from, and some of this is justified.
Mhm.
We had a 20-year Patriots run,
Yeah,
and then now we're, you know, a
we're
third of
on
the
a
way through
decade.
that with another one.
Yeah,
And
we're like almost a decade run with the Chiefs,
yeah, and
and the
this probably
fatigue.
isn't going
Right?
away anytime soon either. I mean, I'm thankful for everything we have. I know that this could end tomorrow, but you know, this is probably going to keep going. And,
And
and I
you know
under
what? It calls out my hypocrisy. I had very bad Patriots fatigue. I was the number one hater of the New England Patriots. I I mean, from their uniforms to Tom Brady, I hated anything that was the New England Patriots. Now I'm going on record right here on our Chiefs cast. Patriots fans, I, Dwayne Johnson, am very sorry. I understand that it's lonely at the top. It is really lonely at the top. I don't hate Brady. Now I appreciate Brady. Now I appreciate Belichick because of the run that we're going.
see, okay, I am really glad that you said that because as annoying as I think fans of the Broncos, the Bengals, the Ravens, and stuff like that are. Um, I know a handful of Patriots fans that are
Mm.
going out saying anybody but the Chiefs. I'm like, I don't understand you at all.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't
at
understand.
all. I don't understand you at all. And saying this out loud, people that don't sit there and say what you just did, just Chiefs fans that I know have said all kinds of stuff about the Cheatriots and all of this and all of that are now upset that we have that reputation. Like, I don't feel bad for you at all. It's like
Oh,
you deserve to be upset about this. And
yeah, yeah.
I think about I didn't like the Patriots, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back by any means, but I was a Brady fan the whole time.
Really?
And I've said this, yeah, he's one of those guys that I don't know. I mean, I can't say that I was rooting for him in that Super Bowl against the Rams, but
Mm.
I wasn't rooting against him. I always liked Brady. I always liked his competitive edge. I always liked how the Patriots just out executed people. I always appreciated the Patriots. I didn't like losing to them.
Mm.
It was maddening. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I always felt like I tried to keep things in context of how would I feel if this was my team? They're not cheating. They're better than everyone else. I'll also say, even in the middle of it, I never cared about Spygate. I never cared about Deflategate. I thought both of those things were stupid. Deflategate, I don't think that a rule was ever violated. I mean,
No,
I read that 130-page report, which essentially said we aren't okay with this, but we couldn't find a direct rule that was violated.
wow.
You know, the whole recording at practice, it's like you were dumb for getting caught and you should be fined. But at the same time, I'm just thinking about watching like the NASCAR dynasty that I was really into with Jimmy Johnson and stuff like that. But what I always think is funny, and you made the comment like Belichick and Brady weren't that bad and you appreciate them more now. It's
Right.
like the politician from 10, 20 years ago. You went
Yeah.
from being this horrible person to a statesman. You know?
George W. Bush. I mean, I've
There you
seen
go.
people hate him, and now they see him passing candy to Michelle
And that's
Obama.
it. A lot of people
See
hated
him
George
fist
Bush.
bumping with Obama, and they're like, "Oh, okay, George Bush is a cool guy." And now the opposite is happening to Obama because he's hanging out, laughing, and talking with Trump, and people are like, "Oh, what is this?" But I think that there's a group of people who didn't like Obama that saw that and it was like, "Oh, Obama's all right. Okay, I guess
Well,
so.
exactly, exactly.
You know, all right, I'm good."
But the reality, without getting into a ton of politics, it's
There you
like
go.
stuff is always different. There's always this revisionist history,
That's right.
and 20 years from now, you're going to have people telling their grandkids about how they watched Patrick Mahomes that are Bengals fans that are saying horrible stuff about him today. And I don't know. I find stuff like that funny. I really do. Um,
You and I have the same sense of humor. Yeah.
I find it funny, but I appreciated Tom Brady in real time, and I think that helped make this even more enjoyable and make this whole thing just more laughable.
It did.
So
It
yeah,
did.
I genuinely like watching people be upset about stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what? That's my new pass. And like you said with Brady, I think I fell in love with him after the fact with us winning and watching his roast. And I was like, hey, Brady's a cool guy. I mean, I felt like, check yourself, man. Brady's all right person. What's wrong with you?
well, exactly, exactly. But I mean, there's a part of this. I mean, if you get to the level of winning 7 Super Bowls, you've got
That's
just
right.
this competitive edge that's unquenchable. And
Yes.
I mean, yes, you're going to be doing things like throwing tablets on the sideline.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember people who were like, "Oh, Tom Brady's such a bad sport." It's like, take it out of his check. He doesn't care. Just,
He doesn't care.
I don't
I,
know.
I was one of those, Josh, that was like, oh, there he goes again, throwing stuff. Boo, boo.
See,
Now I
and I
see
mean,
Mahomes
honestly, I was
doing it,
like, you
and,
know
and
what?
now
Give him
I'm
another one.
defending Mahomes.
Give
I'm
him
defending.
another one. Throw it. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Now when I look back on it, I'm like, all right, Brady, that's right. Throw that shit. Throw it. You know?
There you go. All right. Well, speaking of Brady,
Mm-hmm.
I have two questions. So
Okay.
Bill Belichick went on an interview and said something about renaming the trophy over at the Super Bowl trophy for a player over a coach. And so he says that the Super Bowl trophy should be named after Brady because he's won 7. So first of all, let's talk about why do you think Belichick said that and why did this come up at all?
Well, I think Belichick said this to be relevant of his greatness, his legacy in the NFL now that he's at the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. Um, I think that was his olive branch to tell Brady that, hey, you and I had it rocky toward the end, and you left and got one with Tampa Bay. And I just want to tell you that this award needs to be named after you. Me personally, I say leave it alone. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Lombardi was the first coach that won the Super Bowl. So leave it that way. I mean, because to remove his name you're rewriting history. And I know that we're in a climate now where lots of history is being rewritten, a lot of things are being reintroduced and everything. But I just think Belichick was trying to be relevant. He was. I'm saying this because I have these 6 Super Bowls because of Tom Brady, and if you name the trophy after him, then you have to look at me, the coach. So it keeps him on this Mount Rushmore type of level that he doesn't have to beg to be on. I mean, you're on there. You have 6 Super Bowl rings. You're on there. Whether I like him personally as a coach or not, you're on there. I can't knock greatness.
Yeah, so I think where this came from first and foremost is this really long break between the AFC Championship, NFC Championship, and the Super Bowl. This is painful. Wait in 2 weeks to watch this game. This is painful. But
Right.
it's just you run out of stuff to talk about, even by the end of the football season, especially when you have one team that's just killing it like the Chiefs are. You
Right.
run out of stuff to talk about. So I think that this topic really came up because people were bored and
Yeah.
they're looking to create content. So let's get that out of the way.
That's
After that, I think you touched on a lot of things that I completely agree with. One, first of all, by Belichick saying, name it after Brady and name it after a player as opposed to a coach. I think that that is an olive branch to Brady. I think that's 100% correct. I think this is a level of pandering to players and the
Mhm.
way that the power is shifting to players.
Right.
Now that he's recruiting in college, I think it's important for him to pander to players.
Yeah.
So let's bring that up as well. But then at the same time, I do agree with your other piece that he stays relevant if we keep that on Brady. But I also do think that there's a part of that just watching that interview that I think he does kind of believe some of that. And so
Yeah.
philosophical question that I think about is should the name of a trophy always be the same? And is there a way to change the name of a trophy without rewriting history? Because I
Right.
think that you can just make it the history, call it the Lombardi Trophy for 60 years. And then we realize the sport's been around for 100 years. And, gosh, kind of a lot's happened in the last 60. Maybe you rename it. I can see arguments both ways. I'm all about preserving history and tradition and things of that nature. History should be preserved. Um, Tradition should, but when you're keeping things just for the sake of it, I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing. So it's the why. Why should we call this trophy the same thing from here till kingdom come? And maybe the answer is correct. And I definitely like your take that Lombardi was the first Super Bowl winning coach. That's an immortal name.
Right.
That's a good reason to do it. And I'd be lying if I said I have any interest in seeing the AFC Championship trophy called anything other than the Lamar Hunt trophy. And
That's true. That's true. It
selfish reason, you change the Lombardi, you put that on the table. I don't
hmm
want to change that. So
Yeah.
there
Because
you go. But
I
at
NFC.
the same time, how do we introduce new names? And I really think the good compromise, the MVP trophy for the Super Bowl doesn't have a name. Call that Tom Brady. You know,
That
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 that's simple.
that's a good one. That
That's
you
simple.
took the thought right out of my head with that one, Josh.
Well,
And because it's not named.
well, exactly. And this isn't a new thought. I mean, countless people. Mike Greenberg, was on that right away. So I agree with that camp, but I like the idea, as dumb of a hey we're bored place this came from, as self-serving as I agree there was some angles from Belichick. I think
Hmm.
it's an interesting question. Should we be renaming trophies? Let's look at that. And Tom Brady's definitely a name that I think has earned having some notoriety with like a trophy or something.
Right. And I'm with you and Greenberg. The Super Bowl MVP trophy. You know, whoever gets that, hey, you're holding up to Tom Brady.
There you go. There
Uh,
you go.
I'm with it.
There you go. All right, so Super Bowl is Sunday. Chiefs are
Hmm.
going for a three-peat. Never happened before.
Never.
Mahomes is going to go for another Super Bowl MVP, a fourth.
Hmm.
let's just assume that he's going to get it if this ends up being a victory. So here's the question:
Mhm.
if that is to happen, God willing, how does that happen? What are the keys to victory?
The keys to victory. Number one, defense, 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 run stopping defense. You got to stop Saquon Barkley. The guy is a monster. He's probably the MVP. I know Thursday we're gonna find out, and I got a serious gut feeling that he's gonna get it over Josh Allen. I
Then
think that
Saquon is.
yeah, Saquon. We haven't had a running back get it since Adrian Peterson, and that's been what 16 years ago, somewhere there, somewhere in that.
I will
No,
look this up.
that was in 2012. So that was yeah, that was in 2012 he
Yeah,
was
carry the two, 12 years.
hmm So 13 years, give or take.
Yep. Adrian Peterson, and then nothing but QBs since then.
Nothing but QBs. So with
And then going back from Adrian Peterson, 2006, LaDainian Tomlinson, 2005, Sean Alexander,
mhm.
and those three are the comprehensive list of non-quarterback MVPs
Yeah. And
since
there's only five
1998
of
with
them.
Terrell Davis. So really this century.
Yeah, this century wasn't it Aaron Donald when
Quarterback award.
Aaron Donald got one as a D tackle, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, defense. We're gonna have to stop them. Uh, we're gonna on offense. We're gonna have to run the ball. They have a way better secondary than we have, but I still won't bet against Showtime Mahomes. Magic Mahomes, PM15. He has a way that he can throw that ball in there to where Cooper DeJean and these other guys on their secondary. He has a way that he could put that ball in their hands. So I'm looking at wide receivers like Xavier Worthy using his speed. I'm really looking and anticipating D Hop having a monster game. D Hop, you know, get him active, but my eyes are going to be on Travis Kelsey because this could potentially be Travis's last game. And if Mahomes doesn't get the MVP, I would love to see Travis Kelsey get it.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Um, what I see this game, I think this is just it's a pretty there's two things that are going to decide this game. It's going to be the turnover battle, and it's going to be what Saquon Barkley does. Saquon Barkley is a 100-yard a game machine.
Yes, he is.
He's big play, home run ability anytime he touches the ball. The Chiefs and Spags defense don't allow 100-yard rushers.
No,
They
but I got
don't.
that he's going to get 100 on us.
Lamar Jackson did that the first week of the season,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't believe another running back has
No.
this season. So it's going to come down to that. Now, 95 yards and 105 yards are roughly the same thing. That's a 100-yard day.
Right.
So I think the Chiefs, to really take control of this game, need to hold them below 80.
Right.
And if they can really clamp that down and turn this into a passing game,
Yes.
one of Jalen Hurts' best games in his career was the last Super Bowl, Super Bowl
Yes.
57.
Yes.
He threw the ball all over the yard that day.
Mm-hmm.
That was also a really young Chiefs defense.
Yes.
That's a lot of the same players and significantly better now. But he also played really well in the or the NFC Championship game, throwing the ball all over Washington. The Chiefs defense and the Washington defense are not the same. So what I really believe is that if they can get Saquon controlled early, then they turn it into a passing game. And I think that Jalen Hurts is prone to turn the ball over, and we have a very tenured set of defensive backs at this point. So I think that we can force some turnovers. with the secondary, and then also with our upfront pass rush. And so if we win the turnover battle and control the Eagles' rushing attack, that's going to be the two biggest factors. Then on top of that, our line is going to have to step up to this really good defensive, front. But they also did that against the Eagles the last time as well. I think we have slightly less effective personnel. However, Andy Reid's had 2 weeks to dial this up. Spags has had 2 weeks to dial this up. So
And
I
Spag,
expect the Chiefs to win, and I expect this to be fairly comfortable.
you
So
think it could be
for a
comfortable?
score prediction, I'm going to go 28-10.
Really? 2018?
I'm going 28-10. I don't think this is going to be as high scoring as the last game, and I think the Chiefs are going to be in more control this time.
Wow. See, you have the opposite of me. I have 42-35.
Or 235. So you
But
think this is going to be a barn
I like
burner?
28-10 though. I That's gutsy and that's really defensively. And so basically you're dependent on our defense to go out there and execute better than the Philadelphia Bulldogs, because that's what they are. Those are the
Yeah.
Georgia Bulldogs that are
No,
the
I expect the offense to be efficient, and I expect our defense to keep the Eagles in check. That's what I'm expecting.
Mm, 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 mm.
So there we go. All
Yeah.
right, so we're both picking a winner. We think we're going to have a
Yes,
three-peat.
we Yes.
All right, before we get out of here,
Okay.
this is a Super Bowl. We shouldn't be wasting time on other stuff, but I don't see how we can't bring this up. Luka Doncic to the Lakers. What's going on there? What's your take on that?
I think the Mavericks' new owner, he must have been drunk and he just said, you know what? He got in an argument with Luca and he said, you know what? Damn it, I'm gonna trade this guy. I can't deal with it. And he set LA up in a great spot because Luca will keep that team great after LeBron. LeBron's probably got another year or two and he's out of there. And I believe that they got their generational talent. So I feel like the Lakers won that that trade. I'm a Lakers fan, so I'm loving it. I don't care what all my Dallas Mavericks fans are saying. Oh, he's 270. I'm like, yeah, but he's 6'6". He's the same size as Travis Kelce.
Hmm.
Okay. And he can shoot the basketball. I mean, he really can shoot the basketball. Oh, he's an alcoholic. I'm like, well, allegedly. We don't know that to be certain. If that's the pitch or word out there, hey, it's not stopping his production. And you traded him for AD. AD is he's more injury prone. Now he's got a better body than Luca, but he can't stay healthy to save his life. They're like, well, he plays defense and Luca doesn't. I'm like, well, they got other players on the Lakers that play defense. That's not a problem. This guy is a scoring machine. And the Lakers hadn't had a scoring machine since Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace. So Luka Doncic, or whatever, however you say his last name, that guy is the right guy. And that was a smart move by Jeannie Buss to jump on that. And I think that the Lakers won that trade hands down.
No, I agree with that. I 100% agree. The Lakers won the trade. The soundbite I heard is Rob Pelinka thought that what's his bucket, the Mavs general manager, was joking when he called him about this.
Right.
Um, so all the commentary your Mavs friends are saying
Mhm.
about, reasons Luca needed to go, that is the sign of grief where you're bargaining with yourself and justifying things.
No, that's exactly what
Every
I.
every single one of those is just making up these narratives because I think Nick Wright said this. Even if all of that stuff was true,
Mhm.
you just lit this competitive fire in a very competitive player
Right.
to go and bury you.
Yeah, you
So,
breathe new life into this guy.
oh, exactly, exactly. And if he's what I think is the craziest part about it is if you decided that you wanted to get Luka out of your locker room. I don't get it, but I'll entertain the argument.
Right.
How is Anthony Davis what you decided you had to have?
Yeah.
How did the Lakers become the team that you wanted to deal with? I don't understand that part at all.
I
Like at
mean,
all.
me neither. It's almost like the owner. You have to check. Like, are you a Lakers fan? Because you just gifted them. I mean,
Well,
that's like you
seriously.
going and giving your number one competitor your best car. You're a car racing guy, and you're like, you know what? I don't like this damn car. It's won me a lot of races, but here you can have it.
No, exactly. It's absolutely wild. Do you really consider the Lakers to be the Mavericks' biggest competitor over the Spurs or the Rockets?
No, no, no. The Spurs and Rockets definitely because it's an in-state rivalry.
Yeah.
Especially the Rockets and the Spurs. They're on fire right now.
I think and I guess we don't know for sure that these calls weren't made. I just don't understand how if you decide you're going to move Luka, how you don't at least call Denver and ask about Jokic. You don't call Milwaukee and ask about Giannis.
Right,
Uh, I think you know better than to call San Antonio and ask about Wemby,
right.
but consider Wemby maybe the one guy you're not going to do. You don't call and ask about Steph Curry,
No,
something to that effect. It's just it's wild. I think the best case scenario for the Mavericks in a short term period of time, if you have a highly motivated Anthony Davis, I can see him and Kyrie Irving going scorched earth and working really well for a season.
right.
But do I really see him winning a title? I no, I
No,
don't. So you're going to make the finals. Well, you just did that with the guy you shipped out, and
right.
Luka's in his mid 20s,
Yeah, he's 25.
and yeah, and now the Lakers have flexibility to do whatever they want to. I mean, this is just insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely the Lakers they just got strong with Luca this season, and they're going to be a problem with Luca.
Lakers, I don't know what this season looks like for him, but they have flexibility to navigate the post LeBron world now with Luka
Yeah,
Doncic on their roster. So, yeah, I don't know. I am not a Lakers fan, so I'm not a fan of this. I'm not happy about this. That's one of those teams that I don't like seeing have nice things, but
really. Oh man.
but at the same time, I mean, I just got done saying that I appreciated what the Patriots did.
Right,
Uh,
right, right.
I
That's
always,
that's the
I
irony.
always, I don't like the Lakers, but Dr. Jerry Buss is one of those owners that I appreciate.
Yeah.
I think about the soccer team I watch, Tottenham, in London.
Mhm.
There's graphics going around now that say 24 years, 16 managers, one trophy,
Wow.
and it's all aimed at the chairman who runs an incredible business, built a new stadium. He's got Beyonce coming back again, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The day that the NFL puts a team over in London, that's where they're going to be playing. I mean, he's just run an incredible business.
Right.
But when it comes time to investing heavy, like fans want to go and win a trophy in the Premier League, dude's just not interested. He's not interested in spending the money to make it happen. And that's literally probably the biggest gap that he has is just spend more money. And he
Mhm.
won't do it.
Yeah.
And you think about Dr. Jerry Buss, he was never the richest owner in the NBA, but he was the guy that wanted it the most.
Yeah, he wanted it the most.
So, I can appreciate that with, also sports hating the heck out of the Lakers.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to your argument, that's how I feel about the Raiders. I respect Al Davis. I love his slogan, just win, baby, win.
hmm
I'm not a Raiders fan, and I root against the Raiders. But you can't, I mean, damn, that's Al Davis. Now,
Yeah.
Mark Davis, he's a joke to me. I laugh at Mark. I'm like, oh, Mark, bad haircut, Mark. Okay, you know?
I don't know. He's making some pretty smart moves this offseason.
Well, yeah, because he's got
He's got Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly coming in to run the offense. They don't have a quarterback, but that's
gonna be their QB, whoever it's gonna be. you know Chip Kelly is going to get some guy uh, that can get rid of that ball fast.
Yeah. But at the same time, during the whole Patriots dynasty, is this really any different than rolling through the Rex Ryans and everybody in the Jets? It's like, it's never quite works out.
No,
You come in and get interesting, but you still know that you're looking up there, and then you have quick draw McGraw owners that want something, from a result standpoint. Some of those are just going to be waiting.
that's right.
Yep. All right. What you got for a final take?
Final take. Super Bowl week. It's going to be fun. I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to New Orleans or not. The flights are ridiculous, but I'm in Houston. I'm 6 hours away. It's going to be kind of hard for me not to wake up on Saturday and say, you know what? I'm going to get a room in Baton Rouge and I'm just going to just hang out and be in the area. Just go to a sports bar. I have no tickets to the game, and that's fine. To be on Bourbon Street and Canal Street, it's a party, and why not? So that's my take on this deal, and I'm ready for us to get this three-peat over and see. I'm looking forward to a great game, and I'm going to miss football. This is the time of year that I'm like, I'm going to be keeping close eyes on the draft and who's coming back to the Chiefs and who's going. I got some theories on who's not going to be here, and that's fine. At least let's get those guys a ring. Let's get them out of there and let's see what we can do. I'm not going to be. I don't know. I'm not sold on the four-peat yet, but I mean, I'm here for it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Uh, I was this time last year. I was definitely sold on the three-peat, but now I'm kind of like four. Mm, don't know about that, buddy. Don't
There you
know.
go.
But I'm here for it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna root for it and everything. But I just don't know. I'm not as confident about a four-peat as I am a three-peat.
Sure. Well, my final take is I think you should go to New Orleans
Yep.
and everybody enjoy the ride. I'm sure enjoying this. So
Oh,
yeah, hopefully the next time that we're on, we're recapping a Super Bowl win. And
yeah.
until next time, go.
Go Chiefs!